Get ready to have your minds blown as we take you on an epic journey around the world to explore 6 incredible volcanoes.
Along the way, you'll discover the differences between lava and magma and what it means to be an active versus dormant volcano.
Get ready to rumble, starting with Mauna Loa.
We are now at Mauna Loa, which is the largest active volcano on the planet. Mauna Loa means long mountain in Hawaiian, and it has a shield volcano shape. It makes up 51% of the big island and stands 13,681 feet above sea level. Technically, it stands 30,000 feet from the bottom of the ocean, which makes it taller than Mount Everest. Scientists believe that 90% of the surface of the volcano has been covered with flows that have erupted over the past 4,000 years. We are now at Arono, which is 5,437 feet tall, and it is the third perfect conical-shaped volcano in the world. The first is Mount Mayon in the Philippines. Arono is currently in its resting phase, but is Costa Rica's most active volcano in the past 43 years. Arono was silent from the 1500s to the 1900s and was considered extinct until the eruption in 1968. Up until 2010, visitors could see lava, gas, and ash on a daily basis. The volcano was formed 7,000 years ago from its adjacent volcano, Chateau. Speaking of active volcanoes, Sabrina, take it away.
An active volcano is a volcano that is erupting currently, or that has erupted in the past 10,000 years. Active volcanoes can often have unrest signs such as gas emissions or something called seismic activity. Seismic activity is deep vibrations caused by the breaking of rocks or elastic movement in the ground. A dormant volcano is a volcano that has essentially been asleep for over 10,000 years. These volcanoes have not erupted in a very long time. A dormant volcano example is the Yellowstone caldera. It hasn't erupted in about 640,000 years. However, these volcanoes do have the possibility of becoming active once more. Some volcanoes have been dormant but have some characteristics of active volcanoes, such as little amounts of seismic activity. This means that a volcano can be dormant but active at the same time. Let's talk about magma versus lava. Both magma and lava are a type of molten rock. Molten rock means to liquefy by heat. Therefore, these rocks have been liquefied by heat. Let's talk about magma first. Magma is a liquefied rock that lives under the surface of our Earth. Magma has a concentration of gas and water vapor and can be up to 1,300 degrees Celsius. When magma erupts from the surface, it is known as lava. Lava is the liquefied rock that explodes out of the Earth's surface onto the land. Once the lava flows out of the volcano, it cools down and solidifies into rock. This creates some pretty cool new land formations.
Let's talk about Iztaccíhuatl. This volcano is nicknamed La Mujer Dormida, or the Sleeping Woman. You'll totally see why when you look at it. The snow-capped peaks literally look like a woman laying on her back. Iztaccíhuatl is dormant, which means it hasn't erupted in a long time and isn't showing signs of waking up anytime soon. But don't let that fool you. It's still super impressive. It's the third tallest mountain in Mexico, standing at a whopping 17,159 feet above sea level. And it's not just a geological wonder, it's also wrapped in ancient Aztec legend. The story goes that Iztaccíhuatl was a princess who died of heartbreak, and Popocatépetl, we'll get to him next, was her warrior love. Now let's move on to her fiery soulmate, Popocatépetl. His name means smoking mountain in Nahuatl, and he totally lives up to it. Popocatépetl is active, like seriously active. After chilling for about 50 years, he came back to life in 1994 and has been erupting on and off ever since. He's one of the most active volcanoes in Mexico, and scientists are constantly monitoring him because he's so close to Mexico City. He towers at 17,802 feet, making him the second tallest peak in Mexico. And here's a legend that makes this volcano so iconic. Popocatépetl was a brave warrior who fell in love with a beautiful Aztec princess, Iztaccíhuatl. Her father, the emperor, said Popo could marry her only if he returned victorious from battle. So Popo went off to war, but while he was gone, someone lied and said he had died. Heartbroken, Isaxiotl died of grief. When Popocatépetl came back and found out, he was devastated. He carried her body to the mountain and laid her to rest, then stood watch over her with a torch in hand. The gods were so moved, they turned them both into mountains. Isaxiotl became the sleeping woman, and Popocatépetl became the smoking warrior, still guarding her to this day. His eruptions, they're like the torch he never put down, and now he's the one rumbling with energy while she rests. So now that we've seen how love and lava collide in Mexico's legendary volcanoes, let's head north to Washington State, where Kara's got the scoop on another epic peak, Mount Rainier. Take it away, Kara.
We are now in the southwest region of Washington State, home to Mount Rainier National Park. Here you can see where Mount Rainier is located in relativity to major cities in Washington State. Okay, so what is there to know about Mount Rainier? Well, the mountain is 14,410 feet tall, and Mount Rainier is actually on the younger side as far as volcanoes go, 500,000 years old. In contrast, the mountains of the Cascade Range that surround Mount Rainier are much older, at least 12 million years old. Mount Rainier is an active volcano that last erupted about 1,000 years ago. Mount Rainier has 28 major glaciers, and the park itself is 369 square miles wide, with 260 miles of hiking trails and 147 miles of road. Okay, finally we are in Japan at Mount Sakajurima in southern Kyushu, which if you're not familiar with Japan, that's at the bottom of Japan. The summit height of this volcano is 3,665 feet. The last extremely large eruption from this volcano took place in 1914. So what makes Sakajurima so unique? It is known as the most active volcano in Japan and one of the few that are at present in constant activities. Minor eruptions are very common here. Since 1995, the Sakajurima volcano erupted 100 to 200 times each year. Some years, though, are anomalies. Eruptions have been much more common in these years, like in 2011 with 1,355 eruptions recorded. Okay, can you imagine living near a volcano with that frequent of eruptions? With such frequent eruptions, ash fall from these explosions is part of a reality for those living in the surrounding areas of the mountains. I'm sure that you can imagine frequent rainy weather that you have likely experienced. Recall the way that the water comes down and coats everything in its path. Now, picture bits of ash in place of the water droplet. That is the reality for people living near this mountain.
We love volcanoes, and we hope after this presentation you do too. Thanks for watching.